I was sitting alone at O'Malley's on a Thursday night when she walked in. Not just walked. She owned the room the second the door closed behind her. Every conversation seemed to pause for half a second. She had this presence that made you sit up straighter without realizing it. What I didn't expect was for her to walk straight toward me. She slid onto the stool next to mine, ordered a whiskey neat, and turned to face me with this calm, knowing smile that made my chest tighten. "You're married to Cindy, right?" I set down my beer carefully. "Do I know you?" "Not yet." She took a slow sip, never breaking eye contact. "I'm Brooke, and your wife is currently sleeping with my husband." The bartender was 3 feet away, wiping down glasses. A couple guys were watching the game overhead. Everything felt perfectly normal, except for the fact that this stranger just detonated my entire life in one sentence. "That's quite an opening line," I said, keeping my voice steady. "I don't waste time." She pulled out her phone, swiped a few times, then turned the screen toward me. "His name's Caden. Recognize him?" I did. The guy from Cindy's gym. She'd mentioned him maybe half a dozen times over the past few months. "Training partner," she'd said. "Just someone who spotted her on the weights." I stared at the photo, him at some restaurant, smiling at the camera, then looked back at Brooke. "How long?" 4 months that I know of, probably longer." She put her phone away. "Found receipts for a hotel downtown. Same one every Thursday night. Then I checked his messages when he left his phone on the counter last week." "Thursdays," I repeated slowly. "Cindy's late night at work. Every single Thursday for the past 6 months. She told me it was inventory night, double-checking stock, running reports, the kind of thing that couldn't wait." "He tells me he has client meetings," Brooke said. "We're both apparently married to very creative liars." I should have felt angry, betrayed, something explosive. Instead, I felt this strange, cold clarity settling over me like snow. All those little things that didn't quite add up. The new underwear I'd never seen her wear, the way she started doing her makeup differently, how she stopped asking about my day, suddenly made perfect sense. "So, what do you want from me?" I asked. She turned to face me fully, and that small smile returned. "I want to have dinner with you, a real date, not sneaking around like they are, out in the open where anyone can see us." "You want to make them jealous?" "No." She leaned in slightly. I caught the scent of her perfume, something expensive and memorable. "I want to move on with someone who actually values loyalty. And from what I can tell, you're exactly the kind of man who deserves better than what you're getting at home." I studied her face for a long moment. This wasn't some impulsive revenge fantasy. She'd thought this through. And honestly, sitting next to her felt more real than the last 6 months with Cindy had. "When?" I asked. "Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. There's a place called Marcello's on 5th Street. Ever been?" "No." "Good. Neither have they." She stood, leaving cash on the bar for both our drinks. "Wear something nice. And don't tell Cindy where you're going. Let's see how she likes being kept in the dark." She started to walk away, then paused and looked back. "By the way, I meant what I said. This is going to turn out to be the best decision I've made. I can already tell you're nothing like him." Then she was gone, leaving me sitting there with an empty beer and a completely different understanding of my marriage. I pulled out my phone and looked at the last text from Cindy. "Working late again. Don't wait up." Sent at 6:15. It was now 8:30. I deleted the message and put my phone away. Tomorrow night at Marcello's. Yeah, I could do that. For the first time in months, I actually smiled. I got home around 10. Cindy's car was already in the driveway, which meant she'd beaten me back from her supposed inventory night. The lights were on in our bedroom. I walked in, dropped my keys on the counter, and headed straight for the shower without saying anything. "You're home late," she called from upstairs. "Stopped for a drink," I said. Nothing more. When I came into the bedroom, she was already under the covers, scrolling through her phone. She barely glanced up. "How was inventory?" I asked. "Exhausting." She yawned, still not making eye contact. "We had to recount the entire backstock. I'm wiped." "I bet." She finally looked at me. "Everything okay?" "Perfect." I got into bed, turned off my lamp, and faced away from her. "Good night." For the first time in our marriage, I fell asleep without caring whether she responded. The next morning, my phone buzzed during my break at work. Unknown number. "It's Brooke. Don't save this number under my name. Use something generic. Smart." I added her as Dale from accounting. "Evidence," her next message read. "We need everything documented. Photos, receipts, messages if you can access them. Thursday is 3 days away. That's our confirmation day." I thought about Cindy's phone. She used the same password for everything. Our wedding anniversary. Not very original. "I'm on it," I typed back. "Good. See you tonight. Don't be late." I wasn't. Marcello's was the kind of place with cloth napkins and wine lists thicker than phone books. I'd driven past it 100 times but never went in. Too expensive for our usual budget. Brooke was already there, sitting at a corner table, wearing a dark blue dress that probably cost more than my car payment. She stood when she saw me, and I caught the waiter doing a double take. "You clean up well," she said as I sat down. "So do you." We ordered wine, and while we waited, she slid a folder across the table. "Bank statements from his account. Notice the ATM withdrawals every Thursday. Always $200. Always from the machine near the Riverside Hotel." I opened the folder. She wasn't kidding. Every single Thursday for the past 4 months. Like clockwork. "I checked our credit card statement last night," I said, pulling out my phone and showing her the screenshots I'd taken. "Cindy's been charging things to a card I didn't know she had. Dinners, drinks, even bought new lingerie last month." I paused. None of which I've seen, by the way. Brooke's jaw tightened. They're not even trying to hide it. They just think we're too stupid to notice. "We're too trusting," she corrected. Same thing in their minds. The waiter brought our wine. We ordered food. Then Brooke leaned back in her chair and looked at me directly. "So here's what I'm thinking. Thursday night, we follow them. Get photos, timestamps, everything we need. Then we sit on it for a week or two while we consult lawyers and get our affairs in order." "You've thought this through." "I've had time." She swirled her wine. "Caden's been distant for almost 6 months. I kept making excuses for him. Work stress, midlife crisis, whatever. Turns out he was just bored and found someone who gave him attention." "Cindy stopped asking about my day about 8 months ago," I said. "Started going to that gym, buying new clothes. Suddenly cared about her appearance again. I thought she was just trying something new." I shook my head. Didn't occur to me she was trying for someone else. We were too decent to assume the worst. That won't happen again. Brooke smiled at that. Not sad or bitter, genuine. Our food arrived, and for the next hour we just talked. Not about our cheating spouses, about everything else. Her work as a financial consultant. My job in construction management. Places we'd traveled. Places we wanted to go. It felt easy, natural. like talking to someone who actually listened instead of waiting for their turn to speak. "Can I ask you something?" Brooke said as we finished dessert. "Sure." "Are you doing this just to get back at her? Because if that's all this is, I need to know now." I set down my fork and looked at her directly. "Last night at O'Malley's, you said something that stuck with me, about moving on with someone who appreciates loyalty. I haven't felt appreciated in almost a year. And sitting here with you tonight, I feel more valued than I have in months." I paused. "So no, that's a no. I'm here because I want to be." She reached across the table and touched my hand. Just for a second. But it was enough. "Good," she said quietly. "Because I wasn't asking just to make conversation." When I got home that night, Cindy was asleep. I checked her phone while she was in the shower the next morning. Found exactly what I expected. Messages to Caden about how much she missed him. Couldn't wait for Thursday. Loved the way he made her feel. I took screenshots of everything and sent them to Brooke. Her reply came back immediately. "Thursday, we end this." I deleted the message and put my phone away. 3 more days. Thursday came faster than I expected. I told Cindy I had a late meeting with a contractor. She barely acknowledged it, already texting on her phone with that smile she used to give me. "I've got my thing tonight too," she said absently. "Probably won't be back until 11. "Take your time," I said. She looked up, surprised. Usually I asked questions or suggested we reschedule. Not tonight. I met Brooke 3 blocks from the Riverside Hotel at 6:30. She was in her car, a silver Lexus, engine running. "He left the house 20 minutes ago," she said as I got in. "Told me he had dinner with a client from Seattle." Cindy left right after me. Said she was meeting her sister. I shook my head. Her sister who lives in Florida. They're not even good at this. We parked across the street with a clear view of the hotel entrance. At 7:15, Caden's black Audi pulled into the lot. He got out, checked his phone, and leaned against his car. 10 minutes later, Cindy's white Accord pulled up next to him. Brooke had her phone out, camera ready. I watched as my wife got out of her car, and Caden immediately pulled her into a kiss that lasted way too long for any innocent explanation. "Got it," Brooke said quietly, snapping photos. They walked into the hotel together, his hand on the small of her back. The same way I used to guide her through crowds. "Room 412, Brooke said, checking her phone. "He always books the same one, creature of habit." We waited. Brooke had thought of everything. She'd even brought coffee and sandwiches, though I couldn't eat. We sat there for 2 hours, documenting everything. Timestamps, license plates. We even got a shot of them through the 4th floor window before they closed the curtains. At 9:45, they came out, kissing by the cars. Cindy was laughing at something he said, touching his chest the way she used to touch mine. "I want to confront them," I said. "Not yet." Brooke put her hand on my arm. "Trust me. We do this the right way. They lose everything. We do it angry. They find ways to twist it." She was right. I knew she was right. We followed Cindy back toward our neighborhood, then Brooke dropped me off at my truck. "Monday," she said. "I'm meeting with my lawyer. You should do the same." "Already have an appointment scheduled." "Good." She looked at me for a long moment. "You handled tonight better than I expected." "I had good company." She smiled. "Want to get breakfast tomorrow? Somewhere public. Let's start being seen together." "What time?" 9. There's a place called Sullivan's on Maple Street. Caden takes clients there all the time. "Perfect." The next morning, I got up early and went for a run. Cindy was still asleep when I left. I showered at the gym, put on decent clothes, and met Brooke at Sullivan's at 9 sharp. The place was packed with the weekend breakfast crowd. Brooke was already seated at a booth near the window, right where anyone walking by could see us. "Morning," she said as I slid in across from her. "Morning." We ordered, and while we waited, 3 different people Brooke knew stopped by the table. She introduced me each time, casually mentioning we were having breakfast together. No explanations, no justifications. The 4th person who stopped was someone I recognized from Cindy's gym, Andrea, one of her workout friends. "Hey," she said, clearly surprised to see me. "Didn't know you came here." "First time," I said. "Brooke recommended it." Andrea's eyes went between us, processing. "Oh, well, it's great. The pancakes are amazing." After she left, Brooke grinned. "That'll get back to Cindy within the hour." "Good." My phone buzzed during breakfast. "Cindy, where are you?" "Out," I replied. "Out where?" "Getting breakfast." "With who?" I didn't respond. Let her wonder. By the time I got home that afternoon, Cindy was waiting in the kitchen, arms crossed. "Who's Brooke?" "Someone I know." "Andrea said she saw you having breakfast with some woman at Sullivan's, that you introduced her by name like it was normal." "It is normal. We had breakfast. People do that." "People who are what to each other exactly?" I grabbed a water from the fridge. "Does it matter?" "Does it matter? You're my husband." Funny how that works both ways. I headed toward the stairs. "We're not done talking about this." Actually, we are. I stopped at the bottom of the steps and looked back at her. "You want to know where I am and who I'm with? Try giving me the same courtesy, starting with where you were last night." Her face went pale. "I told you I had inventory." "Right, inventory." I started up the stairs. "Must have been exhausting. You didn't get back until after 11. I didn't wait for her response. Over the next week, I made sure Cindy saw exactly how little her opinion mattered to me anymore. I went out when I wanted, came home when I felt like it, answered her questions with the bare minimum. And I saw Brooke. Coffee on Monday, lunch on Wednesday, dinner on Friday at a steakhouse where half the city seemed to eat. Cindy's texts became more frequent, more desperate. "We need to talk. You're being distant. What's going on with us?" I kept my responses brief, professional almost, like I was managing a business relationship that had gone stale. Meanwhile, Brooke and I met with our lawyers separately. Both told us the same thing: document everything, file when ready, and keep communications minimal. "How's she handling it?" Brooke asked over coffee one afternoon. "She knows something's changed. Keeps trying to get me to open up." Caden's the same. Asked me point blank if I was seeing someone. "What did you say?" I said yes. She smiled. Told him I met someone who actually values me. He didn't know what to say to that. Cindy's not that direct yet. She's still in the denial phase. That won't last much longer. Brooke checked her phone. "I'm filing next week. My lawyer says we have more than enough." Mine said the same thing. She reached across the table and took my hand. In public, where anyone could see. "No regrets?" she asked. "Not a single one." The annual charity fundraiser at the Riverside Convention Center was the kind of event where everyone who mattered in town showed up. Business owners, community leaders, the social crowd that liked being seen. Cindy had bought tickets months ago, back when we were still pretending everything was fine. "You're still coming with me, right?" she asked Tuesday morning. The event was Friday night. "Actually, I already have plans," I said. Her face fell. "What plans?" "I'm going with someone else." "With who?" "Does it matter?" "Yes, it matters. We bought these tickets together. People will ask where you are. Tell them the truth. I'm there, just not with you." She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. "You can't be serious." Completely serious. I grabbed my keys. "See you Friday night." Brooke and I had coordinated everything with precision. We'd arrive separately, meet inside, and make sure we were visible together all evening. And if Cindy and Caden happened to be there, which we knew they would be, even better. Friday evening came. I put on my best suit, the charcoal one I'd bought for my brother's wedding. Cindy was already dressed when I came downstairs, wearing a red dress I'd never seen before. "You look nice," I said neutrally. "Thanks." She was eyeing my suit. "You're really not coming with me." "I told you I have other plans." "This is ridiculous. People are going to talk." "Let them." I left first. Met Brooke in the parking lot of the convention center 20 minutes later. She was wearing a black dress that turned heads the moment she stepped out of her car. "Ready?" she asked. "Absolutely." We walked in together, my hand on her back. The same gesture Caden had used with Cindy at the hotel. Turnabout seemed fair. Inside, the main hall was packed. Orchestra music played in the background. Waiters circulated with champagne and appetizers. Within 5 minutes, I spotted Cindy near the bar. She saw me at almost the same moment. Her eyes went from me to Brooke to our linked arms, and her entire face went white. "There she is," Brooke said quietly. "I see her. And there's Caden, 10 o'clock, blue suit." He was talking to a group of men I recognized from the Chamber of Commerce. He hadn't seen us yet. "Should we go say hello?" Brooke asked with a slight smile. "Why not?" We walked straight towards Cindy. She was frozen in place, champagne glass halfway to her lips. "Cindy," I said pleasantly, "you look nice tonight. What are you doing here?" Her voice came out strained. "Same as everyone else. Charity event." I gestured to Brooke. "This is Brooke Wells. Brooke, this is Cindy." Brooke extended her hand. Cindy stared at it like it was a snake. "Nice to meet you," Brooke said smoothly. "I've heard so much about you." "I'm sure you have." Cindy's eyes were blazing now. "Can we talk? Privately?" "Actually, we just got here. Maybe later." I steered Brooke toward the other side of the room, leaving Cindy standing there. We mingled, talked to people, made sure we were seen. Every few minutes, I'd catch Cindy watching us from across the room. Her expression shifted from shock to anger to something that looked like panic. Then Caden spotted Brooke. He excused himself from his conversation and walked straight over. His face was tight, controlled, but I could see the tension in his jaw. "Brooke, didn't expect to see you here." "Surprise." She sipped her champagne. "Caden, this is my date." She gestured to me. "Caden Wells, meet my friend." We shook hands. His grip was aggressive, trying to prove something. "Your date," he repeated, looking between us. "That's right. We need to talk." "We really don't." Brooke's voice stayed pleasant but firm. "Enjoy your evening." She turned away from him, dismissing him completely. I saw something crack in his composure. "Brooke, enjoy your evening, Caden." He stood there another moment, then walked away. straight to the bar where Cindy was now standing. I watched them exchange words, both looking in our direction. "They're comparing notes," Brooke said. "Good. Let them figure it out together." An hour later, as dinner was being served, I saw Cindy heading toward the restrooms. Brooke caught my eye. "Go. I'll handle things here." I followed Cindy into the hallway. She was leaning against the wall, phone in her hand, looking like she might cry. "Having a good evening?" I asked. She spun around. "What the hell is going on?" "I'm having dinner with someone I enjoy spending time with." Novel concept, I know. "Don't do this. Don't be cruel." "Cruel?" I stepped closer. "You want to talk about cruel? How about every Thursday for the past 4 months, when you told me you were working late?" Her face went from red to white in seconds. "How did you?" "Riverside Hotel, room 412, Caden Wells." I pulled out my phone and showed her one of the photos Brooke had taken. Cindy and Caden kissing in the parking lot. Timestamp clearly visible. "Should I go on, or do you get the picture?" She grabbed for my phone. I pulled it back. "You followed me." "Didn't have to follow very far. You weren't exactly careful." "It's not what you think." "It's exactly what I think. You've been having an affair with that man in there. The same man whose wife I'm currently having dinner with." I put my phone away. Funny how things work out. "So what? This is revenge? You're going to humiliate me?" "Humiliate you?" I laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Cindy, you humiliated yourself. I'm just moving on with my life." "With her, his wife?" "With someone who values honesty. Someone who doesn't lie about working late so she can sleep with someone else." Tears started falling now. "It was a mistake. I'll end it. We can fix this." "No, we can't. I already filed for divorce. You'll be served Monday morning." The color drained from her face completely. "You what?" "Monday morning. My lawyer has everything. Photos, bank statements, hotel receipts, text messages. All of it." "You can't do this." "I already did." I started walking back toward the main hall. "Enjoy the rest of your evening. And you might want to let Caden know that Brooke filed on Tuesday. He'll be getting his papers Monday too." I left her standing there and went back to find Brooke. She was at our table, talking with the couple next to us, looking completely at ease. "Everything okay?" she asked when I sat down. "Perfect." Across the room, I saw Cindy emerge from the hallway. She went straight to Caden, pulled him aside. His face went through the same progression hers had. Shock, anger, panic. They both looked over at us. Brooke raised her champagne glass in a small toast. "To new beginnings." I clinked my glass against hers. "To better choices." We stayed until the end of the event, dancing, laughing, acting like we didn't have a care in the world. Because honestly, we didn't. By the time we left, half the people there knew something had shifted. The gossip would be all over town by morning, and I couldn't have cared less. Monday morning came with a knock on the door at 7:30. I was already up, coffee in hand, when the process server arrived. Cindy came downstairs in her robe, still half asleep. "Who's that?" "For you," I said, opening the door. The server handed her the envelope. "Cindy Morrison, you've been served." She took it like it might burn her, stared at the envelope, then at me. "You're actually doing this?" "I told you I was." "I thought you were just angry, that you'd cool off and we could talk." "There's nothing to talk about. It's done." She ripped open the envelope, hands shaking as she read. "You're asking for everything. The house, the car, even my retirement account. Read the next page. I'm entitled to half of everything acquired during the marriage, including what you spent on your affair. I took another sip of coffee. My lawyer was very thorough. This is insane. You can't just throw away 8 years of marriage. I'm not the one who threw it away. You did that when you started sleeping with Caden. Her face crumpled. I made a mistake. People make mistakes. Mistakes happen once. You made a choice every single Thursday for 4 months. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern. So that's it. You're going to destroy my life over this. I'm not destroying anything. I'm removing myself from a situation where I'm not valued. I set my mug down. You'll be fine, Cindy. Just not with me. I grabbed my keys and headed for the door. Where are you going? Work. Then I'm meeting with my lawyer this afternoon. You should probably do the same. She was still standing there holding the papers when I left. My phone rang as I pulled into the construction site. Brooke. Caden got served this morning, she said. He called me screaming about how I'm ruining his life. How'd you respond? Hung up, then blocked his number. I could hear the smile in her voice. My lawyer says we should have preliminary hearings scheduled within 6 weeks. Mine said the same thing. Also mentioned that given the evidence, this should be straightforward. Good. I'm tired of waiting. She paused. Want to grab lunch today? There's a place near your work site I've been wanting to try. Text me the address. I'll meet you at noon. The next few weeks fell into a routine. Work, lawyer meetings, time with Brooke. Meanwhile, Cindy spiraled. She called constantly. Texts at all hours begging me to reconsider. Showed up at my work site twice until I told her if she came back again, I'd file a restraining order. Her family got involved. Her mother called crying about how I was breaking her daughter's heart. Her sister sent me a long email about forgiveness and second chances. I blocked them all. Brooke dealt with similar harassment from Caden's side. His parents tried to guilt her into dropping the divorce. His brothers showed up at her office demanding she act like an adult. Her response was to have security escort him out and file a formal complaint. He actually said I was being unreasonable. She told me over dinner one night. Can you believe that? I'm unreasonable for divorcing him after he cheated. They always make themselves the victims, I said. His lawyer tried to argue that the affair was my fault, said I wasn't attentive enough to his needs. She shook her head. My lawyer shut that down fast, showed the judge photos of us at the hotel, text messages, everything. How'd that go? Judge wasn't impressed with Caden's excuses. Preliminary hearing is set for next month. My lawyer thinks we'll have a final decree within 90 days. Mine estimated about the same timeline. She reached across the table. And then what? What do you mean? After the divorces are final, what happens with us? I took her hand. I'd like to find out, if you're interested. I'm very interested. She smiled. But I want to do this right. No rushing, no rebounds. Genuine relationship built on actual trust. Sounds perfect to me. Over the next month, the consequences for Cindy and Caden became more apparent. Word had spread about the affair. Cindy lost several friends who sided with me. Her gym membership mysteriously wasn't renewed. She got passed over for a promotion at work that everyone knew she deserved. Caden had it worse. His reputation as a financial consultant took a major hit when clients found out about his affair. 3 of his biggest accounts moved to other firms. His business partner quietly started distancing himself from the company. Meanwhile, Brooke and I became more visible together. Dinners, movies, weekend trips. We didn't hide anything, didn't feel the need to. At the final hearing, both divorces went through without contest. Cindy got the bare minimum. I kept the house, the better car, and most of our savings. Her lawyer argued, but the evidence was overwhelming. Caden fared even worse. Brooke got the house, his investment portfolio, and half his business assets. The judge wasn't sympathetic to his protests. Walking out of that courthouse, I felt lighter than I had in years. Brooke was waiting by her car, paperwork in hand. How'd it go? It's done. You? Same. Signed, sealed, officially single. She looked up at me. Feels strange, doesn't it? Feels right. I smiled. Want to celebrate? There's a restaurant downtown I've been wanting to try. Lead the way. That night over dinner, we talked about everything except our ex-spouses. Plans for the future, places we wanted to travel, things we'd always wanted to do, but never had the chance. I'm going to France next spring, Brooke said. Always wanted to see Paris. Never had anyone to go with. I've always wanted to learn to sail, I said. Never made time for it. So make time now. Maybe I will. She smiled. I like this version of you. Confident, not holding back. I like this version of me too. I raised my glass. To second chances. To better choices, she corrected, echoing what we'd said at the fundraiser. We clinked glasses. Outside the restaurant, as we walked to our cars, Brooke stopped. So this is happening, right? Us? If you want it to. I want it to. She stepped closer, slow, deliberate. No rushing into anything, I said. Agreed. Good. She kissed me, soft and brief. Then I'll see you this weekend. Definitely. I watched her drive away, then got in my own car. My phone buzzed. Text from Cindy. Can we please talk? I know I messed up, but... I deleted it without reading the rest. Blocked her number. Then I drove home to a house that finally felt like mine again. No more Thursday night lies. No more pretending. No more accepting less than I deserved. Just forward. One day at a time. With someone who actually wanted to be there. 6 months later, I was standing on a dock in Marina Bay, hands on the wheel of a 30-foot sailboat I'd just bought. Brooke was next to me, sunglasses on, wind in her hair, laughing as I tried to remember which rope controlled which sail. You're overthinking it, she said. I'm trying not to capsize us. You won't. Trust yourself. I adjusted the mainsail, felt the boat respond, and suddenly we were moving smoothly across the water. The instructor I'd hired for lessons would be proud. See? Brooke grinned. Natural. We'd been together officially for 4 months now. Took things slow like we promised. Dates, weekend trips, getting to know each other without the shadow of our failed marriages hanging over us. It worked better than I could have imagined. Last month, she'd asked if I wanted to move in together. I said yes without hesitation. We found a place overlooking the water, split everything down the middle, made it ours. No baggage, no lies. Just 2 people who knew what they wanted and weren't afraid to build it together. I ran into Cindy last week, Brooke said as we anchored near a small island. At the grocery store. How'd that go? She pretended not to see me, turned down a different aisle. Brooke pulled out the lunch she'd packed. Heard she's dating someone new, some guy from her work. Good for her. You mean that? I do. She deserves to find whatever makes her happy, just not with me. Brooke handed me a sandwich. Caden moved to Phoenix. His business partner bought him out after the divorce. Heard that too? Fresh start, I guess. Think they ever regret it? I thought about that. Probably, but not for the right reasons. They regret getting caught, facing consequences, not the actual betrayal. Sounds about right. She settled against me. You ever regret how things turned out? Not even a little bit. I kissed the top of her head. That night at O'Malley's when you sat down next to me. Best thing that ever happened to me. Same here. She looked up. Think we would have found each other if they hadn't cheated? Maybe, maybe not. Either way, I'm glad we did. We spent the rest of the afternoon on the water, sailed until sunset, then headed back to shore. Walking to the car, Brooke's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and smiled. What? Email from my lawyer. Caden's settlement check finally cleared. Last official tie to that marriage. Done. How's it feel? Like closing a book I should have put down years ago. She slipped her hand into mine. Ready to go home? Absolutely. That night on our balcony overlooking the marina, I thought about how different my life was now. How much better. No more walking on eggshells. No more wondering where my partner actually was. No more settling for someone who didn't value what we had. Just this. Simple. Honest. Genuine. Brooke came outside with 2 glasses of wine. What are you thinking about? How that woman who sat next to me at a bar 6 months ago changed everything. She made a good call, didn't she? Best decision either of us ever made. I raised my glass. To new beginnings. To the right choices, she said. We clinked glasses and looked out at the water. Somewhere out there, Cindy and Caden were living their separate lives, dealing with the consequences of their choices. And here I was, living mine, with someone who chose me every single day. No regrets, no looking back, just forward, exactly where I belonged. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.